Hello. Always wait a few seconds because if I start talking, it'll cut me off on the playback. Let me go to my live tab. Get my chat going on the desktop in front of me. Oh, I can set a goal now. Let's see. Hey, Jane. Let me just get set up here. Hey, Julie. Hey, Rita. Hold on, I'm just getting the desktop set up here while we're waiting. Let's see. It's asking me to set something up on my screen now that I am. Let's see. Let me just set that up. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a little new to being monetized again. Hey, Lona. Hey, Kellyanne. Hey, Julie. How's everybody today? Well, I guess I should tag my, she told me to text her, my mod Kelly. Oh, can't do that here because I don't have the username. There we go, 9 people. Oh, thank you, Jane. It means so much. It means so much. You have no idea. I guess maybe I should have had the iPad set up too because I can't tag her on this screen. Yes, I have a lot to talk about today. Let me just go grab my iPad really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry I wasn't prepared. Hey, 21 people. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, I had a little coffee accident just before I came on the air and it exploded and went all over me. I was trying to make some decaf, so anyway, here we are. Hey, the good JR Investigator. Hey, Leanne. Yeah, it's been a crazy week for me too. You know why? I got monetized. My party came on a little early yesterday. Hardly anybody came in, but I got monetized. So for you guys that are watching the videos and rewatching the videos, make sure that you let the ads that Google AdSense puts in, make sure that they play. Because if they don't play, then I don't get paid. And apparently the first day I made 29 cents. Or no, 27 cents. Something like that. Okay, so, but I didn't get monetized until very late at night the day before. And they're 2 days behind on the total. So yeah, like 27 cents, 29 cents, it means nothing. Okay, so make sure you guys are watching the ads. Let's see. Hey, Monique. Welcome in. Okay, the JR, or the good JR Investigator, as opposed to the bad. Just kidding. I'm glad to hear your news. That's great news or good news. But boy, do we have breaking news today. This man in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, JR. Leanne says, I saw that. Congratulations. Awesome. Yeah, I got your message. JR, the suspect is wanted from Georgia and I guess apparently took him high-speed chase up to North Carolina, Lexington. Oh, wow. Yeah, we don't get anything like that out here in California. Then the other breaking news is Tiger Woods got in an accident. Yeah, again, a rollover. Yeah, again, he was drinking and driving. Oh, it's crazy. Actually, I heard he was under the influence, but he hadn't had any alcohol. It could be a drug issue. Don't know. Oh, hey, Kelly. Yeah, I just stopped my live to go get my iPad to say I'm here. Hi, Raiho. Okay, we need to talk about what I was going to talk about yesterday, but then the whole monetization came sooner than I thought. They approved me in less than 24 hours once I reapplied. So here we are. This is super important to talk about. We're going to talk about Nancy Guthrie and her disappearance. And oh, you're Ben. Okay, hi Ben. Well, it says Raiho 2014. Hey, Kellyanne Sullivan. Roy Holloway wanted. Yeah, I don't know anything about Roy Holiday or Holloway. Thank you for the subscribe, Ben. Thank you so much. Okay, here we are. Not a lot has happened, but part 2 and part 3 of Savannah Guthrie's interview with Hoda Kotb has been released since the last time we talked about this. And, you know, it brings me to tears. And I've watched all 3 pieces multiple times. It brings me to tears. But if you guys can back up your memory, because I know it's been so long, the first week that this had happened, there were multiple timelines that were coming out about what actually happened the day that she disappeared, as far as when either the church or someone from the church or somebody connected to the church called the family, meaning Annie, to say, your mother didn't show up. And then as far as what time they, meaning Annie and Tommaso, when did they go to the house versus when did they call the cops or not call the cops? Was it right away? Was it not right away? How long did it take for the cops to get there? But now we've got something else that's in the timeline. We've got her call to her sister, Savannah. Savannah was in New York. It was a Sunday. And her whole family had, joined each other in New York. But she said that she had given her husband a tennis trip with the boys for that weekend. So he was gone that weekend. And on that Sunday, presumably after church, because I know she's a faithful churchgoer, she and the kids went and spent the day with Carson Daly and his wife and family. And it was after she came home and after her husband Michael came home from his tennis trip that her phone rang, and it was her sister. And she said, is everything okay? And the sister said, no, Mom is gone. And Savannah was like, what? What are you talking about? And there was just panic. And she said, Mom is gone. And Savannah said, call 911. And she said, I did. They're here right now. And then she told Savannah that her and Tommy, I guess that's what they call him, Tommy, had already been calling hospitals because they noticed that plural, the back, not the back door, but the back doors, plural, had been propped open. Now, maybe it's like a double door. I've heard that there's 6 different entrances to that house on the first level, which is just a 1-story house. There's 6 different ways into that house. But she says on the interview that Annie told her that the back doors, plural, had been left propped open. And I'd heard that from the beginning, that the doors were open. Wow, I have 2.25K. Thanks for letting me know, Ben. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to see this story, Ben, you're going to have to go back to the beginning from February 2nd all the way forward on my live tab. This is about the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. So anyway, the doors were apparently propped open, and they thought perhaps maybe she had had some sort of medical thing in the middle of the night. Perhaps the paramedics had rolled her out on a stretcher, but it didn't even make any sense. And then apparently at some point, the blood droplets were found. So maybe when they came into the house, they came through the garage and they didn't see the blood droplets right away. Well, I understand Nancy goes to some lady's house and watches church online. Yes. And watches Savannah's church. True. And that is where it got a little strange for me. No, I understand that. Hi, Ultra Level. Hi, Jay. So I'm having issues because there's 2 separate timelines provided by Sheriff Nanos as far as when the family became aware that morning and when they actually physically drove to her house and started looking for her? And when did they actually call 911 and report her missing? And the initial just deputies came out and realized something's very wrong here. We need to report this immediately to the homicide team, which is very unusual for a missing person. No, she didn't drive there, says Kelly. Uber out and son-in-law back home. Yes. But here's the issue. Now, I know that right now Arizona is on the same time we are, but that's because they don't honor daylight savings time. But when this happened, they were on Standard Mountain Time, whereas New York was on East Coast Standard Time. So there would have been a 2-hour time difference on February 1st between New York and Arizona. So let's say Annie, she's got to go over there with her husband. They got to realize something's wrong. At some point, they call 911. At some point, the cops arrived and realized we need a homicide team. They're calling hospitals. But it wasn't until maybe much later in the day. We don't know the time, and this is very important. Why? And I will read your comments in just a moment. Why or what time did Annie call Savannah? Because Savannah said they had been over at Carson's that day, meaning her and the children. And her husband was coming home from a tennis trip. Well, I doubt he came home on Sunday morning or early Sunday afternoon. They probably, I would assume, came home later in the day. Now, we don't know what time. This is only an assumption on my part. But let's say they did spend the day at Carson's and he, was finishing his trip that day and then had to drive home or fly home. I don't know where his trip was at. They would have all come home, Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. We don't know the time. But Savannah was very close to her mother, and she was always in constant contact with her. Why did the sister, as soon as she heard something was up, why did she not call Savannah immediately and say, have you talked to Mom today? Something's wrong. We're on our way right now. Have you heard from her? It was nothing like that. By the time Savannah got the call, 911 had already been called. The police had arrived. Presumably the homicide team had been called. The hospitals had been called. Then Savannah said, oh my God, I don't know what to do. She felt helpless. I can't even imagine the horror. Her heart was probably like beating fast and sinking into her chest. And she said, well, I'll call the hospitals too, because she just was like, oh my God, what do I do? And I think it was like either early the next morning or in the middle of the night, she flew out to Arizona. And at this time, I don't even know, if the husband came with her, if the kids were left behind, because later on in this story, he was seen at an airport in Florida with the kids flying somewhere, either coming from somewhere or going to somewhere. Then eventually he goes home. She mentioned that she was making sure to stay in contact with the kids every day. So it sounds like the kids weren't with her, and that her and Annie, and as she describes Tommaso as Tommy, they were having to move around from house to house to house. They were staying together. They weren't at the mother's house. They weren't at Annie's house. They were staying together, but they had to move their location multiple times because people would find out where they were. And then, I don't know if they didn't have any security or not enough security, but she remembers having to move late at night. Like they called a car to come pick them up, and it was very scary because she said we had to move out of one place in the middle of the night in the dark. So let me just get to your comments really quick. Wow, only 8 people watching. I've noticed right about a week before I got monetized that my number started to tank. Let's see. Okay, the good JR Investigator says, because I was trying to figure out, does somebody pick her up or does she drive over to this lady's house and watch her church online? But she hasn't been to her church in a long time. Yeah, she hasn't been to the physical church, but she does go to a neighbor's house, and she may have taken an Uber that morning. We don't know because her car was found in the garage. Ultra says, I think she's right. Kelly, no, she didn't drive there. Uber out and son-in-law back home. Yeah, that's when she was at Annie's for dinner on Saturday night on January 31st. Apparently he was at band practice or something, and they only have one car. So she Ubered over there, and then Tommaso drove her home. Therefore, the last person to see her. Therefore, that's why they had to treat him as a prime suspect, just because, he was the last one to see her. He dropped her off. She walked through the garage. 2 minutes later, the garage door closed. And a lot of people thought, that's kind of weird that he didn't help her in, considering Savannah said some days she couldn't even walk to the mailbox because her back was that bad. Yeah. That's really messed up. I mean, this lady was a mess, physically a mess. Her words make sense. Whose words? Savannah's? Or mine? JR. We're just going to call you JR. Yeah, Nancy goes to some lady's house to watch church online, Savannah Church in New York. I don't know. And that's how the lady called, said she didn't show up. That's true. You're right, JR. Jay says, when I would see that much blood with an elderly person, I would assume possible homicide due to fragility. You know what? I'm worried about the blood because they're like, oh, it's just droplets. But yet they've never disclosed where the droplets were in the house. And if she was carried out, wrapped up, now I'm hearing rumors that she may have been pushed out in a wheelbarrow or a trash can. I mean, I'm just telling you what I've heard. This is all speculative. Wow, 31 people. Now we got people in. Okay, 9 thumbs up. I am recently monetized as of yesterday. Oh, thank you for the gift, Julie. Appreciate you. I still don't know how those work yet. So, oh, thank you, Ultra. JR says, and they say that Savannah is going to return to the Today Show. She was there the other day to make a visit, but I guess she's coming back to return. Yeah, she's also had a 3-part interview with Hoda Kotb, and they released part 3 today. And I don't know if that was filmed at the same place where, because she did go back there when she came back to New York, like the next day, she went into the Today Show and they had like hugs and kisses with everybody. But she has since done that it's an interview that's been divided into 3 pieces. Oh, hey, you know what? I have my little, where is it? Where did I put I ordered the thing from Amazon. I can't believe this. I have to get up. I have to walk to my coffee table. Hold on. Everybody, I don't want this to scare the crap out of my animals because I was using my iPad before, but I need my iPad to see things. This is my hype button, and that super chat, Kelly, will go to help pay for it. Everybody, this is for Kelly. Yeah. I hope that's not annoying. Poor animals. My poor bunny. She's like, ah. If this is distressing for her, I'm going to get something else. Okay, JR. And they say that Savannah is going to return. Yes. I've heard today, and I don't know if this is true because I didn't hear Savannah say this. I have heard, let me heart that, Kelly, on the desktop. There we go. I have heard that she may return on Monday, April the 6th. And that would be the day after Easter. But I don't know if that's true. And I know when Easter is because it's a week before my birthday. Mine's the 12th and Easter is the 5th. And since I don't have, I don't live with family, or I don't even really, I mean, I am a good Christian, but I don't, I don't cook anything for Easter or nothing. It'll just be a baseball day for me. Oh, JR, thank you for your comment. And in another thing, I think it's strange is that Savannah seems to do all the talking. The sister and the brother don't do much talking. Well, that's on purpose. That's scripted. As far as when they made those appearances together. But does it bother anybody else? Did anybody else go where my head went? And I'm not saying that the family's still a suspect. In my book, everybody's a suspect until this is proven. But what time was the sister actually called? What time did they go to the house? What time did they call the police? Why would there have been a delay? Possibly even a few hours? I don't know the timeline on this, of her calling Savannah and saying, hey, have you talked to Mom today? I think she's missing, or we're on our way to her house right now. She's not picking up the phone. And the church lady said she didn't show up at her house. No, she just called later. By the time Savannah had already come back with her kids from Carson's house, and her husband had already returned from his weekend trip. I don't think he returned home from a weekend trip on Sunday morning. And I know there was that 2-hour time difference. Now it would be 3, since Arizona doesn't honor daylight savings time. So they're basically on Pacific time right now, even though they're on Mountain Standard Time. JR says, oh, thank you, Julie. Oh, that's so pretty. See, I'm still trying to figure out how these work. I hope you guys don't have to pay for those jewels. I mean, I know you have to pay for like the super thanks or the super chats, but thank you for the jewels. Hopefully you guys are just using some kind of points for that. I still haven't figured that completely out yet. Yeah, she does do all the talking. I'm sorry if this was my mother. I would be so frantic. Yes. And I didn't even live with my mom, and my mom wasn't close to me in the later years. Mentally, she had kind of checked out. But still, like if my sister called and said she was missing, like it would be horrible, especially if she never came back and we didn't know what happened to her. It's crazy. Why is this just Savannah talking? Why isn't the other sister? Okay, I've seen that. Julie sent a floating heart. Thank you, Julie. Well, what time did the lady call the sister? Supposedly it was 11. But remember, Sheriff Nanos, he makes statements and then he doesn't say, I'm retracting this. He just says something completely different. He has contradictory statements. Now, one thing we do know about the timeline is that there was a 41-minute difference between the time the guy, we'll call him a front porch guy, when he activated that Nest camera from the time that not that her heart stopped beating, but that her pacemaker discontinued from her devices. Let's see. We don't know the exact time because the timeline has changed. Kelly, is that a new super chat or is that the one that you already sent? I'm not sure. It didn't pop up on the, it popped up on the computer at one time and it's popping up on the desktop at another. Oh, thank you, Julie. Well, just in case it's another one, I don't know. Here we go. I think it's the same one. And I can't ring the bell or the little horn every time like I get like a jewel because my poor animals. Oh, let's see. Thank you for the flower. Yes, JR says, I mean, if this was my mother, I'd be on every talk show and every radio show I possibly could. I probably would get very little sleep. Exactly. I'd have to do something. Yes. Now, let me mention that when Savannah talked to her brother, and this is really hard, she said, do you think it could be because of me? And he said, sweetie, like he thought that she had been kidnapped for ransom and that, yes, it could be because of her. And when I heard about this very late Sunday night. I had already gone to bed, February 1st. I'm laying in bed. I'm always doing my YouTube and, checking that day's news and kind of doing the last preview of the tube before I go to bed, before I go to sleep. And I heard this, or I read this, and I was like, oh, Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother is missing. Like, oh no, because as an investigator who's worked celebrity cases and a couple involving either kidnappings or threat of kidnappings, that was the first thing that crossed my mind. Like, oh no, somebody went after her mother. Somebody's targeting Savannah and they took her. Oh my God. And apparently that was the first thing that Cameron Guthrie, her brother, who was the military guy, retired pilot, but he's still in the military. I think it's the Vermont National Guard, I believe. That's where my mind immediately went. But I have to think of my training and my career. But then as the days went on, I had to start thinking about it as a potential homicide. And the net is very tight at first around the family, like when the police immediately went after the Ramseys. But then you have to exclude the Ramseys, or you have to exclude, in this case, the last people to see her, Annie and Tommaso. And once you think you've got them excluded, very quickly the net needs to go a little wider to people from church, people that work in her house, people that may do maintenance on the house, repairmen, Uber drivers, neighbors. Then the net goes a little wider and a little wider. But you got to realize they dicked around, excuse my language, but yeah, they dicked around for 5 or so weeks with Annie and Tommaso's car. They were at the house at least 5 days. Then they came back with some sort of luminol kit. I mean, they had Annie's car in her house secured longer than they had the crime scene secured as far as doing the CSA work. So then that put everybody's mind on it's the family. 90% of the time it is. But the problem I still have with the kidnapping theory is why does the kidnapper stay in the house for at least 41 minutes? Whether it was one guy, two guys, three guys, maybe there was a mastermind that's in another city, another state, another country. Why be in the house for 41 minutes? You got to get in. You got to you got to take her. You got to keep her healthy. You don't like knock her around and she bleeds. If she was on a blood thinner, she may have bled to death in minutes after she was taken. Oh, okay, let's get back. April 6th per Roker. Okay. Thanks for that information, Kelly. Let me go back. What's backwards? I've missed a lot of the chat. I think about that crazy woman that was going to kill Rihanna. I mean, we've got real lives, and not only is Savannah a celebrity, but really her mother is too, because her mother was on the show. Absolutely. And that Rihanna thing just happened quite close to me in the Hollywood Hills. Kelly, we already said April 6th. Yes. That's what I've heard. Leanne Navarez, cool. I love it. Yeah, Bunny might not like that. Savannah was the closest one. And that's why, because she was the closest one, you call her first. You know, yeah, you want to call 911 first, but you call Savannah second. Like, what's going on? I might have even been in the car, like on the way over there, calling Savannah, like, hey, we're on our way to mom's house. Something's wrong. Have you heard from her? Not hours later. That just seems off to me. And I'm not saying that they're suspects or that they did it or that they're involved or they know who did it, but that seems off to me. Just like the way they came across in their interviews, it was just something about the body language when they left the house in the car before the police. It wasn't the FBI, but it was Pima County sheriffs who secured the car, but not right away. Should have taken that car immediately because they drove off somewhere in it. I wonder if they were guilty and they were out at the car wash cleaning up evidence. Like, you know, this police department has really screwed this case. Let's see. We already saw that one from JR. I know there was a guy here in our state that his daughter was missing and had an idea. She might be in Reno. He went to Reno and he was boots on the ground and he did a lot of work. Yeah, you would. You know, like when that girl Polly Class was taken, her father being the dad, and I think the parents were separated or divorced, that's the first guy they looked into. And he was like, here, fingerprint me, polygraph me, hurry, like do whatever you need so you can exclude me so we can go find my daughter. JR Investigator, and $1 million, that isn't much. It needs to be a lot more money than $1 million. That reward should have been offered immediately. And apparently she wanted to, but she was discouraged by law enforcement from doing so because it would clog up their lines. And I know the FBI, they don't like to take calls. I'm speaking from experience. That reward should have been on the table immediately. I'm glad you're getting them. It isn't showing on my screen. Oh, you mean the jewels? I apologize. Kelly sent sparkles. I didn't see that. Jay says, Savannah's a professional media person. It's her job. Yes. Sent sparkles at weird time. Sent floating heart. They did just pop on the screen like really quick. If I just look down, I don't see it. It was sparkles, not a super chat. Oh, okay. It was weird though, because your super chat popped up in the chat, but yet it was already on the screen. Whatever. I'm still learning. But thank you for the $1.99. You deserve a double hype anyway, Kelly. If anybody doesn't know, she is my #1 fan. And she mentioned something. She is my #1 mod. She's my primary mod. She mentioned that I should tell you, and I know I might have said something at the beginning of this video, but now that it's monetized, she is actually seeing the commercials, and some of them are like 6-second bumper ads. Those are put in by Google, by YouTube. It's Google AdSense. All the ads that are put in, I don't put them in. they are inserted by YouTube. And if you see a skippable ad and you click that skip button within 5 seconds, that view or click won't count. So I will not get paid. So if you are watching on the playback and you see the ads, or you're just running my channel on loop in the background, try to let the ads play, because like I said, the first day it was either 27 cents or 29 cents. And somebody also sent me my first super chat since remonetization that evening that I found out. And apparently they took out more than 50% of that, but I'll know later. JR, thank you everybody, because this lady, she's a good YouTuber and she's very honest, and she's one of the few. There's not a lot of them out here we can trust. Thank you. And as I will always say, I have to remind myself multiple times to say this. Everybody on this channel that we talk about is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That was the worst part of the interview. Which part, Kelly? No, I got something that's a first. Thanks. Julie says, you're welcome. Kellyanne Sullivan, I feel like the way Savannah has spoken about her mother, I feel like they know something. I do too. They just can't say anything at this point. Hi, boo-boo. I feel the same way, Kellyanne. You earn them by watching us. Okay, so you don't have to pay for those, is what you're saying, Julie. I hope not. And for anybody who has sent a super chat, even yesterday on the show, I have where I announced the monetization. I still can't see it on the back end because it takes 2 days to process the information. So I still don't know what my RPM is, what my CPM is. I know there was 5 or 6 super chats, so thank you everybody who sent. I know that Kelly has sent 4 since this all started. Thank you. JR says, let's make sure you tell everybody about April. She's a wonderful person. She's a good YouTuber. She has a good heart. Thank you so much, JR. That's why I call myself the good JR investigator, because we know there's a lot of them out here that are not good. And so let's help around as much as we can. Thank you, JR. Kelly says, yes, please like her channel. Yes, please sub. Please smash that like button. There's 18 people watching and I got 14 likes. Boo Boo says they pushed 83-year-old man in the subway tracks. Oh, I didn't hear about that. That sounds awful. I tried to like your comment and couldn't get there, JR. Timeline change. No, but with the sheriff, he's always changing the timeline. So I still don't know the timeline of the first day, other than that the lady from the church that wasn't actually at the church, because remember, it took weeks to straighten that out, where that had come from, was around 11. But when did Annie Tommaso get to the house? 11:15, 11:45, noon. When did they, how many minutes did they wait to call the cops? How long did it take the cops to get there? When did the cops realize we've got more than a missing person here? Like, we don't think this is a senior alert. You know, somebody who was old and had a mental break and walked out the door. No, we've got something more. And they called homicide immediately. The button was backwards. Oh, you mean this? That's because this is a mirrored screen. They're recording this mirrored. So everything looks backwards. Like everything you see, like, I don't know. I can't control that. I'm sorry. I can't fix everything. More likes, April gets more people will hear about her channel. Thank you. That's true. It's all the algorithm. And for those of you that are watching the replays, I thank you to the moon and back. But please go to the main channel page and look at some of the long-term or long-form content videos, or just click the playlist. You go, if you want to watch a live 10,000 times, that's fine. But if you're tired of watching the same old subject over and over and over again, go check out some of my actual videos. Get out on those streets, power to the people, says Blue Liner. Kelly Ray, good afternoon, Jet. Tiger Woods went to jail today. Well, I've heard that he was arrested for driving under the influence. and that it may have not been alcohol, is what I've heard. But that's the latest on that. That's not the first time this has happened. Hi, Jet Set. Hey, Sue. In fact, she was one of the people that came to the party yesterday and sent a super chat. Thank you so much. The good JR. Yeah, look at what happened to you when you called the FBI. That was crazy. I know. Still bothers me. Because we still don't know if this was somebody that took her because they were targeting Savannah Guthrie, which is very possible, or this is someone who specifically targeted her, having nothing to do with Savannah, because other than they knew that Savannah has money, but it was more than a kidnapping. I mean, obviously she was abducted, and obviously they received ransom letters. And Savannah thinks that 2 of them were legit, but she said she hasn't seen them. This is just what she's hearing from law enforcement, that 2 may have been valid, and then all the other ones were copycats or demands for reward money. It won't take your super chat. Did I see? Yeah, I saw that Kelly had donated a $1.99 super chat. In fact, she got 2 hypes. She got an extra one. I did see that. Thank you, JR. But Julie says it won't take her super chat. You might have to check if your payment is connected to the account. I've never heard that one before. But remember, I wasn't a professional YouTuber again until 10:36 the night before last, so I still don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'll be right back maybe if I come back in. Oh, thank you, Julie. They solved 36-year-old M today? What was that? Kelly, when she realized it was because of her. I know, but maybe. But it broke her heart. And I noticed that in the interview, like the part 2, she's still talking about her mom in the present tense. But then apparently a few times in one of the 3 interviews, she referred to her in the past tense. You can tell, though, that the siblings, including Annie and Tommaso, that they're all a united front. Remember, Annie and Tommaso, who she calls Tommy, they were the primary caregivers of Nancy Guthrie. So it's sad. Oh, and if for some reason your super chat button's not working, you can always go to the main channel page. Just click my avatar, go to the main channel page, and you can click one of the links. But thank you so much. And if you do send something another way and I can't see it on my screen, let me know, and I'm going to hype you. You can buy them if you want. You can buy what? You mean the jewels? If someone can explain this to me. JR, April is a big baseball fan. Yes! Dodgers, 1-0. Diamondbacks, Padres, Giants, they all lost. And I didn't check on the Rockies. I should have. It's like they don't even exist anymore. And a former Dodgers son, Kyle Karros, plays for the Rockies. So I should have looked that up, but I've been a little busy. And we'll have another game tonight. In fact, tonight is the ring ceremony, but they probably won't show it here, the ring ceremony. Pima County has a show on A&E. Yes. We have a person, I think his name is, or her name is Desert Arizona, that comes in here that talked all about that. But I don't have cable, so I can't see A&E. How many minutes do you have to watch for it to help you? The more minutes you watch, the more it helps me. But if you're skipping the skippable ads, it doesn't help me a bit. And you can watch a short, but for every umpteen thousand views, I'll make a penny. So I don't even want to waste my time with shorts anymore. But sometimes I just feel the need to make one. JR, well, I understand there's a recall for the sheriff They want to get rid of him. They don't like the sheriff down there in Tucson. That's true. But I don't think they can just fire him. I think they have to recall him because he's an elected official rather than an employee. I think they've done a lot of strange things too, even allow people on the property. Oh, yeah, within the first 20 hours. Everybody from the pizza man to Amazon to the mainstream media to the internet sleuths from YouTube to the neighbors. Jay says, Tiger is an idiot, doesn't learn. Hopefully, I just heard it was a rollover accident. I didn't hear the details. Hopefully he didn't injure or kill somebody. And maybe, if it was just a single car crash, maybe this is what he needed to be able to get some help. Because I think there's something else other than an alcohol issue. Alcohol may not even have been involved. You can still get arrested for DWI or DUI, depending on what they call it in that state, because you're under the influence of drugs. JR says they did an investigation one day. Yep. And then they left. Then they let people walk around. Then they come back another day and did investigation. Kind of weird. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, the scene was already compromised before the FBI was even called in. Kelly Ray, big spender. Yeah. Well, thank you for the $1.99 today. I appreciate that. You know me. Have you heard of? No, I haven't. Is that something naughty here? If that's something naughty, we'll have to give a timeout. I just don't know what that means. Cliff Bonds, welcome in. Good evening to you, sir. Yeah, Blue Line or No Kings, yeah. They're already starting to close the on and off ramps in downtown LA for that. You can watch it happen. Broken Heart. You're a San Diego baseball fan. Yeah, I don't dislike the Padres. I was on a surveillance once that started in Sherman Oaks and was only supposed to be a few minutes, and it went all the way to San Diego on the day that Comic-Con started, and it was a nightmare. And nobody had the one person that had the key to my house to be able to go over and assist with my pets was in Thailand. And I was just like, oh my God. It was one of the longest surveillance days of my life. That was the last time I saw Petco. Although I have been to San Diego since for court appearances. Julie, I really do think they believe Savannah would pay the ransom. Well, you can't pay a ransom without proof of life. And depending on what did or didn't happen, I'm still not 100% convinced that it was a legit kidnapping for ransom. There's more going on here, I think. But I don't know for sure. But the way the sheriff has mishandled it and the way that the FBI won't even take a darn phone call, I'm not very hopeful right now. I've been kind of depressed over this. I thought I'd feel better. Julie Segworth says the gifts. Oh, yeah, I don't know how that works, Julie. I thought you meant the super chats. I think that's just connected to PayPal or a credit card. But I don't think you have to pay for the gifts, or you can. I'm not sure. I think it's some sort of YouTube digital currency, and then it converts to a penny, for the content creator. Oh, you can buy gifts and send them if needed. Yeah, and apparently the gifts, that's just on a regular live, that's like a horizontal live, you would see super stickers in addition to super thanks, super chat, you'd see super stickers. But on a vertical live, they've replaced super stickers with these jewels. Go San Diego. Yeah, I'd love to see San Diego do well, JR. And, it would be great if, at the end of the year and the division was down to, I just see, you know what? I'm not seeing everything. Oh, I was just behind in the chat. Let me see. Trisha. Thank you. And for you, Trisha? Yeah, I love baseball. And you know what? Even though the Dodgers and the Giants are enemies, I learned to play baseball in Napa in August. Out of a year, I can't say. I was 2. And so, I've never hated the Giants. Apparently, they still don't have a good team. But they had a good run there a few years ago. Boo Boo says it was called the Lover's Lane case. I don't know that case. I'm sorry, Boo Boo. Let's see. JR. It looks like. Yeah, you know why? First of all, this was my gift from the twins with my baseball experiment. This was my gift. But I was actually going to wear my favorite pink Warner shirt, my old vintage Warner Brothers shirt that has Bugs Bunny on it. And I had it on. And I noticed I didn't have enough drinks on my desk. And I've had some like stomach issues lately. So I was like, let me drink some good decaf coffee. That's going to make me feel better. And I had like this much left in the cup. And I'm like, well, let me just warm that up. And then I'll bring my Gatorade Zero. And when I reached into the microwave, I guess I let it go for too long. And it burned me right here. And I dropped the cup. It didn't break. But the coffee exploded. And it went all over the dishwasher, the microwave, the garbage can, the wall between the kitchen and the living room, the floor, and my Warner jersey that I had just put on to do the live, and it was covered. So, and it'll probably stain because coffee's very hard to get out. I'll have to soak it. So that's why I reached into my closet and I got my Twins jersey. It's the only one that I've received so far in this baseball experiment. So kudos to the Minnesota Twins. But I'm a Dodger. Born and bred. You think I've seen it before. I'm a big San Diego Padres fan, but looks like you have a Minnesota Twins. Yes. That was a gift from the Twins. Julie, your like, hearts, send gifts. April is very informative and honest, so I like to think so. I'm doing the best I can with, just trying to stay alive every day with everything that's happened to me. JR, my mom and I many years ago, we went to a convention in St. Paul, Minnesota, and we went to a Twins game. Oh, that's so nice. Did you go to Target Field? Had that been built yet? That looks like a very nice stadium. It'd be cold, though. That's the biggest event in San Diego. They come from all over the world for that Comic-Con. Yeah, and I had to go there on surveillance that day. And who knew, And luckily I had another guy with me, and we were trading off, and then I was able to pull over. I think it was Rancho Santa Margarita just to get gas really quick. And then I just had to drive probably way too fast to try to catch up. And then, he was on the car. It was in a whole family too. He was on the car, then I was on the car, and it went all day. And I'm like, oh my God, the only person that has the key to my house is just left for Thailand. And then my animals are in there. And I was just like in a panic. Kelly says, oh, thanks for letting me know. You get gems free or you can buy them. Okay, we're going to go with that one. And thanks again, Tricia. It's just now pop. I'm just getting to that. The good JR, I think the hardest thing is not to know where your loved one is. Exactly. Like I compared it to all those people that still don't have their loved ones back from MH370. There does seem to be an issue with your super chat button. I took 15 tries and text proof it wasn't fraud. Oh, that seems to be something with your bank. You can always go to the main channel page. I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and then they don't take any fees for that. But if you send something like that, let me know, because I have my notifications turned off, because if I don't turn off my notifications and an alarm goes off in my phone, it'll kick my audio off my show. So I always have to remember, turn off the notifications. And then when I do that, it automatically goes to the iPad and those notifications get turned off, because I thought, well, I'll just watch my notifications on my iPad while I've got my phone turned off. But it doesn't work that way. They both go down. So if I miss something, Maud, let me know. I totally agree, JR. I'd rather know, because there's not closure. And it's going to be so hard for Savannah to go back and smile, hi, I'm Savannah Guthrie on today, like when she doesn't know. There's a lot of cases that never get solved, and that's the sad thing. So many missing people. Yeah, there's a lady that I used to work with, and she's an elderly woman now, but she is also a PI in the state of California, and she's a darn good one. We've worked a lot of elder abuse cases together. And she had a son that disappeared years ago, like many years ago, an adult son, and he's never been found. And I was thinking the other day that maybe I might do, a video on that, or I might do a live on that, because the guy was like, I think 6'6" or 6'7". He was skinny, but he was tall, like he could have made the NBA. And I don't know how a person that's 6'6", 6'7" just disappears. Oh, I see that. What is that? Did you ever hear about the little boy that went missing in Portland? Again, still missing. I'm not sure. Thank you, Trisha. I'm glad it's not just me. Oh, it's glitchy. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Just like the chat. Like, that's why, like, okay, here's a message here from somebody that I'm not even seeing. Let me make sure I am on live chat. There's been a problem lately with the chat on the phone not showing me all the messages that are on the computer, or reverse, or people trying to type into the chat and it disappears. Thank you if you guys are trying to donate. It's going to mean the world to me to get that first check again. But, based on like what it says I have for the first day, which was literally only a few minutes, the 27 cents or whatever it was, I'm like, or 29 cents. Like, I was like, oh my God. Like, I could be on here talking every day for a year before I see my first check. It'll be better once I know where everything's going to fall. What I can tell you is that about a week before the new monetization came in, my views started to tank because I don't think as many people are interested in this case anymore. But I'll never give up on this. Yeah, thanks for saying that, Trisha. She says, most welcome, Julie. YouTube has been so glitchy for the past month. Yes, and they've also put on my back end saying that they're having uploading issues. Oh, okay. Kyron Holman been missing for years. It was a big story. You got to realize, JR, the last few years of my life, especially with things that happened while I was fighting cancer, there was a lot of things in the world that I just missed. Thank you, Jane. I actually had planned to wear my vintage Warner Bugs Bunny shirt, but I had a coffee explosion, a decaf explosion, literally 30 seconds before I was to go live. And I cleaned it up as best as I can, but I'm going to have to get out like soap and water. And I think it wiped out one of my towels. I'm down to my last 2 kitchen towels. There's coffee everywhere. And the cup was only that full, but how can that much coffee just explode? And it wiped out my clothing. Oh, hey, Jay. I see it on the desktop, but I haven't got to it yet haven't seen it yet on the cell phone for Jay. Love you, honey. Thank you so much. Well, what about the team from Oakland? They left. They're going to be heading to Las Vegas, but right now they're playing in Sacramento. You know what? That's just wrong. I'm glad that, if Vegas wants to build a ballpark for somebody, kudos to Las Vegas. But Vegas was one of the top cities, as was Portland, to make an expansion team on the West Coast, as was Nashville and possibly North Carolina, or going back to Montreal on the East Coast. We can blame the city of Oakland. It's absolutely despicable that they're no longer going to be playing in Oakland. That's all I can say. Trisha says Cubs or bust. I like the Cubs. Hello to Aristocrat. Sent a happy poop. Yeah, I saw that. I'm just seeing the message now. That's 29 cents I didn't have already. Was it 29 cents? Enjoy the channel. Let me give you a little thumbs up, Jay. Julie, well, we're going to help you, lady. You definitely put your time and money in to keep us updated. We appreciate it. Yeah, I had some medical stuff I had to handle today. And I'm like, I don't want this to feel like a full-time job. I still need to go out and do my stuff today and have time to see the Dodger game tonight since I have to pay for that. Yeah, I made 29 cents on the ad revenue. And then you had sent a $1.99 super chat before anybody else knew that it was monetized yet, because I let you know. And out of that, I got 98 cents. So yeah, so the first day, but it was only, remember, I had just turned it on. It came in at 10:36, but I had to activate everything. And most people were probably already in bed by then. And so what you sent and whoever watched, I have $1.29 in my account, and there's no mention of the money that was already in the account when they demonetized me in February 2025. So apparently they may have just taken those super chats. We'll see how it all shakes out when I get paid, if it carries over, because it should show that there's a balance that carried over. It's not showing that. It's like I'm starting all over again and they just pocketed that money. So yeah, in ad revenue, I made 29 cents yesterday. And that $1.99 super chat, they paid me 98 cents. I know, Jay. And I just, I lived in the Bay Area when I was a baby. And when we moved to the Gulf Coast, even though my dad was more of a musician and an engineer and not a baseball person, we were always watching the A's when I was a kid. So, my dad was sort of like, he was the A's person, and my mom was the St. Louis Cardinals fan, even though, she lived probably as close to Chicago as she did St. Louis. And I grew up, Dodgers. So it makes me very sad. Not that Vegas is going to have a team. They're building a beautiful stadium, but I think that should be for an expansion club. I don't think the A's should play there. It's just wrong. Leanne says, wow. Yeah. Wow, 14 people in, and I've got 17 thumbs up. And I got 498 in super chats, and I've got 31 joules, which I guess means 31 cents, but do they take these from that too? Because they didn't say anything about the joules, but those were yesterday, and those it's 2 days behind. And I know what the CPM was on the ads that they gave me the 29 cents for, but it didn't show my RPM. And CPM is cost per mil. That's how much it costs the advertiser per 1,000 views. But what is the RPM going to be? That's going to be the $64,000 question. And I know that's all back end stuff, and you guys are going, huh, what is she talking about? You sent a couple of Jewel stuff to me today. Do you mean here? Oh, okay. I've sent a couple of Jewel stuff to you today. You mean here on the chat? And hopefully you didn't have to pay for that. Oh, okay. In fact, let me go to I can go to my channel content on the back end. I'm going to go over to my YouTube studio page. And oh, there's something I have to announce. She's not here right now, but one of my mods, whose name is Karen, Hearts of Gold Prospecting, sometime, I guess, after midnight, because it popped up right away on the back end, I saw it. She joined my channel. She is my first member. And I know when I was monetized the first time, Kelly was a member, and she was the only member. So I have my first membership. So if you guys become members, you'll see a little star after your name, and it'll change colors as the months go by. And I'm only allowed to do 2 levels because I'm starting out like a newbie again. So they won't allow me to do 3. And it'll tell you, like, if you click that tab, like, what it means. Leanne, sounds like YouTube makes more money on you than you make. Exactly. Billions. Trisha, I now have a whole new issue. How does a son living in Virginia deduce that it was a kidnap for ransom after 10 minutes of hearing the mother is missing when she isn't ultra rich? Well, he's actually in Vermont, but yeah, I thought about that too a little bit. But he's a smart guy. And, celebrities are targeted all the time. And I'm sure Savannah, she probably has a whole long list of people that target her, harass her, stalk her. So, and I'm sure the family's familiar with that. And he is a smart man. He's a very smart man. So that was the first thing my head went to as a PI. I mean, I was still lying in bed and I was like, oh my God, Savannah Guthrie's mother's been kidnapped because of, Savannah Guthrie, and then as the days went on and, I had to start like broadening my scope. Going to the grocery. See y'all later. See you too, Jay. Buy something good. Leanne. Okay. So I think I'm caught up on the chat. There's a little target down here on the bottom. What does that mean? Oh, it set up a goal, but it only ran 30 minutes, so it didn't catch the second super chat. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do this. It's prompting me to hit something right now. So I'm sorry if I'm shaking. Let me just start another. It's asking me to start a goal. And I haven't had anything set. And then it says goal created at April Davis PI. Just started a goal. See goal. I've had 3 of them. Yeah, but I guess the first one must have come within the first 30 minutes because I didn't reset the clock or something. But I do see that I got 3. At least I think I did. Let me go back to the YouTube page. Things are happening, so fast. Yeah, Jay and Trisha. Thanks again, Trisha. And I know there's one here from Kelly, my number 1 fan. Thank you so much, Kelly. Yeah, it just said that I've reached 1 out of 5, but I've actually had 3. But now it's asking 0 for 10. See, I didn't set that because I'm already live and whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out all these different buttons, gifts and all, etc. Well, I'll figure it out together. Yeah, exactly. I never even heard of this. Like there's digital currency, because even though this supposedly started at the end of 2024, beginning 2025, I was still monetized through beginning of February 2025, and I've never seen anything like this on my end. But I've seen it on others when I'm watching other people's lives, and I'm like, what do I do with these points, and how do I send these, and what am I doing? I don't understand. I don't want to push the wrong thing. Because I'd like to send them to the YouTubers that I watch, especially those that go live regularly. Oh, they said it themselves. It was 1 out of 5 when I sent one. Well, now it says 0 for 10, but I got 3. If somebody needs to be like, you're sitting at a baseball game and they hand you a scorecard sheet and say, okay, now you're going to keep score today. When I was in Little League for my childhood for softball, they would hand it to my dad and he would be like so mad and tell me afterwards, I just want to come and watch the game. I don't want to have to go to work and keep score. So mods, keep score. I'm just kidding. In early days, it will all come together and you'll be an old pro in no time. I hope so. I'm a lot older than I was the first time I was monetized, and I've had a lot more health things that have happened, so my brain isn't as sharp anymore. Now, for those that were here yesterday during the party, and I was getting ready to watch, I have my TV like in that direction, and I'd already had it like set up because I had to see the game by antenna. Something had come over the news. Yeah, he's probably working. It's an hour behind. It's 4:13 here. It's 3:13 in Alaska. He's probably out working on the homestead. Oh, I didn't see that. The thumbs up. I missed it because I turned to see the TV. So I was looking at the TV yesterday, waiting for the pre-show for the game and waiting for the flyover, which, by the way, I did hear on the back end when the Jets made a U-turn. I heard them leaving. There was something that came across the news saying that there was a near mid-air collision near John Wayne Airport in Orange County. And I've got it right here. But while we were, someone on my chat said, oh, mid-air collision? Like, yeah, apparently there was a near miss. And then I talked about how, we almost had this accident. I've got a video on it that was just outside of the valley here with a Southwest going to Vegas. Well, yesterday, during my show, while we were talking about this, and I had mentioned that Jennifer Hamdi, whatever her name is, Hamdi, that she was the one that investigated the Kobe Bryant crash, the helicopter crash. She said that the number one airport at risk right now is Bob Hope at Burbank, which literally the runway, which is facing my house, is 3 miles away. And while we were on the show and while we were talking about it, even though we were mostly talking about, my little party I was throwing for myself, there was an incident. And this time it was a Southwest landing from Vegas, and the wheels apparently actually touched the ground. Something came out in the path because the runways crossed there like this, and the pilot immediately pulled straight up, did a high vertical, probably scared the bejesus out of everybody on the plane, and they probably wrapped right around my building when that happened, because when they do the what is it called? I just forgot the word when they land, but they have to hurry up and reverse thrusters, and it's a touch and go or a go around. They had to do a go around. Hi, yeah, I do remember you, Ben. That happened yesterday around 3. They didn't give the exact time. So there was almost a major plane crash on the ground at Burbank. Okay, and they've been saying it's going to happen. It's going to happen at Burbank. It almost happened yesterday. This is how many days after the incident in New York? And then at the same time, yesterday, just a little minutes or hours before, an Army Black Hawk helicopter almost collided with a United Airlines Flight 589 from San Francisco, and not on the ground, in the air. So let me don't want to get too much off of Nancy, but let me tell you this. FAA starts an investigation. A United Airlines Boeing 737 with 168 people on board came dangerously close to a military Black Hawk helicopter while landing at John Wayne Airport in Orange County on Tuesday evening. It was during the day. It was before this thing happened at Burbank, I think. United Airlines Flight 589 from San Francisco was on final approach when a California Army National Guard Black Hawk crossed directly in front of the aircraft. The cockpit collision avoidance alarm immediately went off. The pilots stopped their descent, leveled off, and waited until the helicopter was clear before continuing to land safely. At their closest point, the two aircraft were just 525 feet apart vertically and 1,422 feet apart laterally. This is scary. The National Guard said the helicopter was returning from a routine training mission and was in contact with air traffic control at the time. Now, this is the same situation that happened at Reagan National involving an Army Black Hawk helicopter that killed 67 people. So at some point, either when I was on the air or before I went on the air, this happened over Orange County. And while we were talking about, oh my God, something's just happened and it's supposed to happen at Burbank, it almost happened on the ground at Burbank. So we almost had 2 major airline disasters yesterday in Southern California. It's making me anxious now every time a plane comes over my house, which is about 100 times a day. And if I look at the flight app and you look at LA at any given time, there could be 1,000 planes in the air. I mean, I don't know if it's that many, but you can't even see all the dots because it's dots over dots over dots. Like, We almost had a really, really bad thing happen yesterday. Yeah, don't blame me. I'm just like, that's my worst fear. It's I've done videos about it. I did videos about, it was last summer. There was a Southwest that was taken off for Las Vegas, and they were only a few miles out of LA, a few minutes out, maybe 6-7 minutes, and a big old, like a plane from the 50s that was coming from Texas. It was a big military plane, but it was privately owned, almost collided over the San Gabriel Mountains with that Southwest. And it was the pilot from the Southwest that averted the collision and saved everybody's lives. And now, they've, in the last couple of months, I think there's been at least 6 incursions in or around the Burbank airport. It's very, very dangerous. That thing that happened in New York was an accident waiting to happen, and it happened, and 2 people died, and many people are critical from the fire truck. Hell, the flight attendant, she and her jump seat flew out of the airplane. And now we've had this incident yesterday in Santa Ana and another incident minutes or hours apart at Burbank. It's just scary. You lost track where I was in the live stream. Have you heard the name Travis Reynolds? No. Alleged Pima County Sheriff charged with kidnapping in another case. I have not heard that name. But I know that I'm learning that Tucson, where Nancy lived, or hopefully still does, but I know I'm talking about her in past tense. That's a very dangerous city. Thank you, Hayden Edgar. Thank you. And I'm sorry for those that are sending the gifts. If I turn my head, like, I can miss it. It's not like a big thing that shows up like a super chat or a super, well, they don't have super stickers anymore in these verticals because they now turned on the jewels. Hi, Lorraine. Welcome in. Hope you're subscribed to my channel. Everybody hit the thumbs up. And I'm going to keep going with Nancy, but I do know that since about a week before, maybe week 10 days, that the views, most of which I've been getting off of that case, have gone. It's now that I just got remonetized, is not a time for the views to start going down. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm talking till I'm blue in the face. And I'm just so mentally, like, I'm not done with the case. I'll never be done until this is, she's found, somebody's arrested, somebody's charged, and somebody's convicted, and they serve time. Oh, you're coming in from Delaware. I'm in Los Angeles, California. I'll never be mentally done. I mean, I just adore Savannah Guthrie, and I know she has to do what she has to do. But this is hard. I heard something the other day that made me really emotional, especially because I have somebody who I was very close with, a very close friend whose birthday is tomorrow. But, there's somebody said, it was one of these social media posts, but it struck true to me that people come into your lives for a reason. God brings people into your lives for a reason, and God taketh away. There's people that come into your life, and there's people that go out of your life. And it's really, really hard when it's like a close friend or a loved one or a relative. Like, I wouldn't be able to say that to Savannah. Like, well, people come into your life for a reason and they leave for a reason, because this is her mother. But there is a reason for everything. Brenda! Oh my God! Here we go, everybody. I love you. For those that don't know, she's my cousin. Let me go down on the chat here. Let me see it on the desktop is behind. Where is it on? I can't even see it on the desktop. Oh, there it is. Thank you for the 5. I appreciate that. Now, when all this gets sorted out, they're supposed to take 40%, but the first one I got the night that I got monetized, and I told Kelly, because she was my primary, I'm like, I don't want to wake you up, but are you awake? And then she sent $1.99. Out of that $1.99, apparently I've got 98 cents. And because it was very late at night, not last night, but the night before, that I was able to get my monetization back within less than 24 hours. It was actually less than 11 hours after I reapplied. I only got 29 cents worth of AdSense. So if you're watching Brenda, and I love you too, cuz if you're watching any of the videos, and not just the lives, but you're watching like later the replays, or you're watching the actual videos. And some people don't understand that you have to go to the main channel page and you have to actually click the video tab, because YouTube will just throw the most recent ones up there. But everybody go to the main page, click the video tab, click the playlist. And if you see these commercials, which I don't put in, this is Google AdSense now that I am monetized, please don't skip through the skippable commercials, because if you do, I won't make any AdSense. I won't make my 3 pennies for your click. So now there's also ads in there that are called bumpers, and they're like 6 seconds each. Those are also put in by Google AdSense, and you can't click through those. But I'm just trying to teach everybody. And my mod told me to mention this to everybody, that when you're watching the videos, like you're watching the lives in the playback form, or you're watching the videos and you're playing those back, remember, oh, my cat just bumped everything. Don't hit the skip button, because it'll kill the channel. Okay, hold on. She hates to be picked up. I know, she's let go. Am I going to kiss her? She was named after my friend whose birthday is tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a hard day for me tomorrow. But I'm definitely feeling love from you, Brenda. I'm so happy you just by total accident discovered this channel. Oh, see, Kelly. Yes, she is adorable. I think, didn't you tell me earlier today that you got to make sure to let everybody know that if they hit the skippable, because most people that are watching a video on playback, like a regular video, and they see the ad comes up, and it just comes up for a few seconds, and then the skippable button comes on. If you hit that within 5 seconds, it's gone. It's like, I won't get paid for the ad. So please, even if you're just running these in the background, or you're listening to it while you're cooking or sleeping or exercising or whatever you do, just let the commercials play. And I haven't added anything in. I haven't even posted a long form content. So this is all being done by YouTube's AI. This is Google. This is how YouTubers make their money. Apparently, since I was on a year ago that my monetization was on, the CPMs, which is cost per mil, and the RPMs have dropped dramatically. So they're making all the money. People here are making nothing. Thank you. Hey, JG George, I haven't seen you before. Are you new here, honey? Let me give you a little like there on the screen. You'll have to wait, Kelsa. Just wait. Oh, now she wants to clean her face. This is for you, JG. Need to send you pictures of my baby cats. I'm a cat mama too. I remember your cat in Colombia when I came to visit you from DC, and I drove all the way from Washington, DC to Columbia in one day. And you were at work, and your husband was at work. And I woke up and I walked out into your family room, and your cat had become sick. Not like seriously ill, like it needed a doctor, but your cat became sick, and it was like all over your sofa. And I just woke up and I was like, oh my God, oh, what do I do? What's the subject about? We were talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. And then I just happened to mention on the back end of this that there were 2 near plane crashes yesterday in Southern California, including one near my house. And I had just mentioned that. And then there was 2 incursions yesterday. Yeah, you don't have to pay a thing to watch. It's free to watch, everybody. But just try not to skip those commercials. It'll take about a month to figure out, like, will I even see a check in the first month? And you know what? I used to see all these videos when I was trying to get monetized the first time. They were all these new YouTubers are like, make sure you make a lot of videos for November and December, even if you got to pre-record them. keep going, keep going, keep going. Because, maybe it's holiday time, maybe people are off. But I was like, no, that's not the reason. There is a reason that things go higher in November and December. And I found out why. It's because the advertisers, they have to pay like this much more during the holiday period for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. So if you're a YouTuber, you have a channel too, I'm giving you that advice. Make sure you're going live, you're doing your shorts, you're doing your long form, you're doing whatever you do, but you got to do it 10 times more during the holidays, because then in like January, February, it'll start coming through. Oh my God, my poor animals. There we go. Kelly, that's for number 3. Oh my God. And you had a double horn earlier, remember? Okay, let me go back to where was I? Where are you coming in from, JG George? I'm a private investigator, and this is an everything channel, but I'm a licensed PI in California, and I've been doing a true crime series on Nancy Guthrie. But I do talk about other cases. Let's see. JG George says, I have 5 cats, 2 dogs, foster failure here. That's exactly why I want foster. And I don't have a house. I have a apartment where we're limited to 2. So I have the rescue bunny. She was formerly known as Rabbit 8, Amelia Kensley, and I have little Kelsa. And let me just show you with the camera there. I don't know if you can see this. That is my friend, and it is her birthday tomorrow in heaven. So I don't know if I'm going on tomorrow. This depends on how I feel. I don't want it to be a downer. She'd want me to go on. She said, get yourself up off the floor and stop crying over me. But yeah, that's tomorrow. Maybe there was a little heavily intervention that helped me get monetized as soon as I did when they reapplied. Tell me about Nanny? Oh, Nancy. Okay. Well, we're talking about, if you can watch it on the replay, but I was just going over the interviews that it's actually one interview that Savannah has been doing with Hoda Kotb, and they've divided it into 3 sections. And the main thing we talked about today was some of the facts of the case that Savannah talked about in part 2 of that interview, and that I'm still having issues with some of the timeline stuff that could be significant to the case. It may not, but it just stuck out to me that there was a lot of time between the time that the sister learned that she may be missing to the time that maybe she actually contacted Savannah. There's a lot of weird stuff that's happened with this case, and with the sheriff giving constant changes in his timeline and not saying, oh, I'm retracting this and adding this. Because if I make a mistake, I'll pin it in the comments. Always watch for the pinned comments after videos, because I play them back later on. And I'm like, oh, I got to fix this. Or I'll come on the next day and I'll be like, hey, I need to retract something. But the sheriff, no, he's just all over the place. And he's got all these different timelines going on this case. So I was talking about the timeline again, as in relation to the first day of the kidnapping. Or I shouldn't even say kidnapping, because I'm not sure it is just a straight out kidnapping for ransom. I should say the abduction. And I still feel that she was wrapped. I still feel that probably more than one person was involved. And I think those blood droplets are a lot more serious than the police have taken it, because she's probably on a blood thinner. And if she was wrapped and there was that many droplets just coming from what she was wrapped in and whatever she was pushed out in, she could have bled to death within minutes if she was injured. It is. Lorraine, this is one of the strangest missing persons cases that I've ever seen. And I am a licensed PI. I've worked thousands of missing persons cases, just a couple of kidnappings, but involving celebrity families for the most part. But nothing about this case adds up. Nothing. And it doesn't help when the crime scene was released way too soon. Oh, you're in New Jersey. You know, JG, I spent a lot of time in New Jersey as a child because one of my besties, who was a Southern California gal like me, ended up moving to New Jersey. And I spent a lot of my teen years there just outside of Philly. So what part of New Jersey are you in? I love New Jersey. Yeah, Julie, thank you. Happy birthday to Kelsa in heaven. Oh, I see Kelly asked the same question. Yeah, this is March 28th, April 12th. That's my birthday. And the day of her death are the hardest days of my life. And it's never got easier. I know I'm not going to bawl here in front of everybody. Mandy's Candy. Hey, Mandy. Yeah, I think I saw your message on somewhere where you were like, hey, congratulations. I think it must have been in my community tab or they call it post now. But I got your congratulations. Thank you, Mandy. Yeah, Lorraine, there's nothing about this that makes sense. It could be, but remember on my channel, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. You love the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Yeah, I like the boardwalk too, especially in Ocean City. My cat just pulled my cord, which shook my phone. What do you need, honey? Do you need some kitty food? Okay, Kelly, if you're still here, can you take over the chat for a moment so I can get her some food? Just give me a second. Get you some kitty food? Here's some kitty food. There we go. There we go. Kitty food for my baby. Yeah, here's some fresh food. There we go. Bunny, you're going to have to wait a few minutes. It's a little early for you. Kitty didn't eat all day. Okay, thank you. If you guys were helping run my chat, thank you so much. Shout out to you, please. Well, shout out to Scarlett. Goal ends in 5 minutes. Oh, thanks for noticing that, Kelly. Where are you coming in from, Scarlett? There will be a movie. I'm afraid so, Lorraine. There will. Oh, thanks for running the chat, Kelly. I don't know what I would do without my friend Kelly here. I've got like 4 or 5 other mods that occasionally come in. But they're all on different time zones. I've got a mod in Delaware, a mod in Maine, Georgia, Alaska, and Alabama. America and Jackson. Jackson where? There's a lot of... I'm thinking Jackson, Florida, or Jacksonville, Florida. America and Jackson. Well, Lucifer, we're going to have to send you back to HELL. You're going to be timed out. Goodbye, Lucifer. Oh, Jackson, South Carolina. Yeah, Brenda's in here from South Carolina. Yes, J.G. George, the Guthrie case has consumed me. Me too. And my first thought was when I heard about it on Sunday night, February 1st, was, oh my God, somebody kidnapped Savannah Guthrie's mother. That was my first thought before the word kidnapping had even come out, because at that time she was still just considered a missing person. But then in the next day or two, when more things started to be revealed, then I was like, well, I got to look at this not like a PI who just deals with celebrity, abductions and kidnappings and stalkings. I got to just think that she could just be the victim of a crime that's unrelated to Savannah. But I don't think it was random. Kelly says, yes, it's easy to get wrapped up in it. Well, she seemed like such a nice person. Oh, we've got another person in here that has to be timed out. Kelly, keep an eye out because we may have a bot in here like we had yesterday. I guess once you get monetized, more of these knuckleheads or these bots come in. Yeah, some of them are trolls, but I think yesterday we had bots because as soon as I took them out, boom, 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 and they were all different usernames. But hey, for every troll that does a click like that, I probably just made a percentage of a penny. Thank you, Kelly. Are you okay? I've been worried about her the last few days. Kelsa, my cat, not Kelsa, the friend who's having a birthday in heaven tomorrow, but Kelsa Kitty. Um, she's eating and she's drinking and using the litter box, but I think she's got a hairball or something because she just ate. She just sucked that down because she didn't eat much today. And now, right after she ate that, she's like she's in pain. And she'll usually do that before she needs to barf a hairball or something. I think there's some hair in her tummy. And she's been sitting near the water a lot. She's been drinking, but she's not like over drinking, but been sitting there like I can just tell by her posture something's off. Poor baby. Now, if it gets serious, then she will be rushed to the vet. But I think she's got a little bit of a tummy ache. Lorraine says, "What about the guy in jail, Brian?" Oh, thank you, Julie. I actually saw that, the gold coin. Thank you so much. What guy in jail, Brian? I don't know who you're talking about. I know, Kelly Katz. Your name is Davis, too. Well, welcome in. Crimson. Crimson de Goober. That makes 3 Davises in this chat right now. Oh, I know. You mean Brian Koberger. Okay. I was just like, I'm sorry I forgot about his last name. I can't spell it, but he killed all those kids in college. It appears that he has. Yeah, that's awful. That was in Idaho. You can switch her to indoor hairball formula dry food, but limit it. Provide more wet food, like little soups, to hydrate her more. And 2 Crimson fans. Are you a Crimson Tide fan? Crimson de Goober? Let me check this little thing on the bottom, this tab. Oh, it says a goal ended. It's telling me to set a goal. Let me try to change the goal. Because, and I won't be able to see this chat until like a couple days at least. So somebody keeping score here? Is somebody keeping score? I'm starting another goal. As I can't even tell you right now. Kelly, does anybody know? Like, how many times did I have to hype with this? Like, what are we dealing? I'll know in a couple days. I'll know. But thank you to everybody. I just don't understand how one man can kill all those people alone. You know what? That's the same thing with the guy. What was his name? Ron somebody that killed a family in Amityville, New York. The Amityville Horror, the books and the movies and all that, all stem from the aftermath of that. Ron, what was his name? DeFeo or something like that? Like, I mean, there was like 6 kids or something and the parents, and it's like, yeah, how did one person do all that? Especially with a weapon that we can't talk about here in YouTube on a monetized channel. My man Jerry. Hi, April. First time here. I got too consumed by this and I had to let it go. I occasionally look to see if anything is new in the case, and I always pray each new day that she is found. Savannah is something. Yeah, I hope she's found too. Supposedly, Savannah's going back to work April 6th, the day after Easter. Yeah, like, I don't know. After seeing how the sheriff has mishandled this case and some of the evidence may have already been compromised by the time the FBI got there, and they were involved by like the second or third day. And then me just trying to call in a tip that may or may not help at all. And just to see how their hotline, the 1-800-CALL-FBI hotline, poorly handled my call. It's making me think that this is never going to get solved, but I hope I'm wrong. It feels like a cold case, but it's not. They're still working on things. Let me go down. I'm behind on my chat. It says, yes, sugar, not sugar. Okay. I don't know. Kelly says, not sugar. I know it's hard to type on, like, if you're on your cell phone. And apparently this new thing, this Jules that I never had before when I was monetized briefly, it only works like on a vertical live, and it only works on a cell phone. And, hey, don't chew up your new house. Bunny got a new castle yesterday. And I heard something in the middle of the night, and I thought, oh, my God, somebody's chewing. And I literally got up and ran out of my bed. I don't even know if it was like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I just got to bed, and I heard, like, gnawing. And I just panicked, like, because she's eaten the internet twice. And I'm just like, oh, my God, who's chewing? And I told her to stop, and she did. Yeah. Amelia, I'll get your food when it's time for your dinner, which is going to be soon, okay? Just hold on, baby. And then I'll get you some treat. She's looking at me. She did that on purpose to get my attention. I'm heading out. I'll figure out what's up with my super chat. Yeah, if you do, you can always come in on the replay, and I think it'll still work. But thank you for the thought, Julie. Oh, I see your heart. I see that. Thank you for the floating heart. What's Bunny eat? Oh, she eats a very small portion of pellets, only 1/8 of a cup in the morning, in the evening, and she eats mostly hay. And unlike some of my other bunnies who have not been good hay eaters, she's a wonderful hay eater, and that should give her a long life. Bye, Julie. Thank you for trying. The quiet. Do I like rock and roll? Yeah, it's the best. Especially classic rock for an old girl like me, you know? I should put on a leather jacket. This is Southern California. I don't have a leather jacket, although that would be nice. If you want to send me one, I'm an extra large. Address is in the main channel page description. I'll wear it for you. You want to send me one? Ladies extra large. Yeah, I'm not a medium anymore, sadly. I remember the days of being a petite medium. That was like another lifetime ago. Now I'm just thankful to be that I wake up every morning. And some days are good and some days are not. You love to write poetry. Yeah, I can't write at all. I mean, creatively speaking. Creatively speaking. Okay, Kelly, she says, I feel kind of crummy today. Gotta run, get some meds, and eat. Yes, please. Oh, Joan Jett? Yeah, she's good. I love rock and roll. You know what, Joan Jett? She's bomb, and she did that remake of the Mary Tyler Moore show theme, and then they put it in the movie with Valerie Harper and Mary Tyler Moore when they did that movie like years later. And it was funny because that was filmed like right after I worked on a TV show. I worked on a TV show with Valerie I call her Val because I knew her. And, but then they got together on the Rosie O'Donnell show. And, boy, that's going way back. And, because I might have done something in my career for her too, but I can't go into that. But yeah, I was on a show with Valerie Harper, and then they did a reunion, and it was a movie, but they were they were old women now, and they had like grown kids, and at the beginning of the movie, in the opening credits, they had Joan Jett playing the rock and roll version of that theme, and it's bomb. J.G. George, I hear that wake up time. You know that dude. Oh, don't be like that. Yeah, but Joan Jett, that's my favorite Joan Jett song. In fact, let me look. And she did, I could, you know, it's showing my age that I grew up with all those people. From Mary Tyler Moore for her production company, yeah, that's going way back. But that was just, it's just kind of like when Eddie Van Halen and Van Halen did the remake of Pretty Woman, and he didn't even like to do cover songs, but it's so good. Oh, Love Is All Around. That was the Mary Tyler Moore theme song. And she did a rock and roll version. That was from 1999, and the movie was Mary and Rhoda. Yeah, that was after I worked with Val. That was about 5 years later. Am I caught up in the chat? We have 14 people still here, 25 thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to April Davis PI. And if you didn't see the monetization party yesterday, go on the lives and you can see my party. JG George, sorry phone glitch. Meant to say at our age, waking up is a good thing. Exactly. And I know I talk like I'm 90 years old. It's just because of everything I've been through, I feel that way. But I'm actually, young enough to be Nancy Guthrie's daughter. And Savannah would be my little sister. I still think she's a very fortunate person that she was blessed to have a mom like her. But I just don't want to see her life end like this if this is what's going to take her out. And if it is, then I hope that it happened fast, and I hope that they find her still. And they can have closure. Because what an incredible life this woman led. When her husband died, when Nancy Guthrie's husband died, she had never worked outside the home before, and she had 3 children. And she brought in her mother and a Down syndrome brother to come live with them. So not only did she have 3 kids to be a mom and a dad to, but she had a mother to care for and a disabled brother to care for. And she went out and got a part-time job. And then she got another job that eventually led into a full-time job, which led into a career and a whole nother life for her. And I think the reason she's still in that house is because, well, up until she was abducted, is because that's where her memories are of the happiest days of her lives, of her life and their lives when she lived there with her husband. J.G. George says, same here, I'm 58. And Jane Rice says, beautiful. To what? Certainly can't be me because, my shirt just came unbuttoned. How many people saw that? Yeah, I had to put my clothes on really, really quick since my coffee exploded. My decaf exploded just before I started, and I had to change my shirt. And I guess one of my buttons on my twins gift. This was a Minnesota twin. This is a gift from the Minnesota Twins. So far, they've sent me the best out of all the packages, or I should say, the baseball mail that's arrived is the Minnesota Twins. This was on them, and it's got a cancer awareness patch with the state of Minnesota. So go Twins. You know, and they always do so good every year, and they get so close to the playoffs, and then they fall out in the first round or they don't quite make it. Love to see a team like that make a push. This year, I think Seattle's going to be the team to beat. Well, besides the Dodgers. So does anybody here have anything to add about Nancy Guthrie? Has everybody seen the interviews with Savannah, part 1, part 2, part 3, filmed with her and Hoda Kotb? No one saw a thing. Thank you, JG. And were you the one who said you were coming in from New Jersey? I'm trying to remember everybody, and I always get... Oh, it wasn't you. Oh, Jane. Jane says not me. Hey, Jamie James. Welcome in. I hope you see this on the playback, because if you didn't come to the... I don't remember, did you come to the monetization party yesterday? Were you there? It keeps telling me to start another goal. You've already have a goal. Okay. You did. Okay. Oh, there's a Dateline special tonight. Oh, thanks for reminding me, JG. I hope I'm going to see that. You said yes in New Jersey, and what part of New Jersey, if you don't mind me asking? Because I spent a lot of time there as a child. Yeah, thank you, Jamie. And make sure you guys, if you're watching this on the playback or you're watching any of the videos like that are in the actual video tab, you got to go to the main page and hit video tab or hit playlist, and then you can see what you want to watch. Make sure you let those ads that Google AdSense is putting in now, because I am monetized, so the channel's going to look a little different. Make sure you let those ads play, because if they don't play, I don't get paid. Now, some of them are called bumper ads, and they're only like 6 seconds, and you can't like skip them. But the skippable ads that are usually mid-roll ads, I know some of these terms are like foreign to some of you people, but basically what I'm saying is if you're not a YouTuber and you don't understand how it works, like you don't have your own channel, make sure you let those ads play. You have some great shorts. Or I have some great shorts. Okay. Thank you. I do, but it's pennies. And my last one is on another missing person. We talked a little bit about Joshua and Joseph Duggar here. I'm not an expert. There's one lady that I watch. I won't name her, but she's an expert on the Duggars. And I did a few videos about Gene Hackman and his wife and that Japanese girl that was missing in LA from Hawaii. And there's somebody that I used to work with for years, a lady PI, and she has a son that's been missing for a long time. And I thought about, bringing that up for a bit just to remind everybody to keep looking for him. Let the ads run before viewing content. Yeah, especially those ones that are in the middle and they're called like the mid-rolls and they say skippable, because most people skip those within 5 seconds and that means nothing. Nada. And the first time I was monetized, I didn't do well at all. Like I didn't do well. And then I lost it and then I was so depressed and I never planned to be monetized again. But I still wanted to make the videos because I never did it for the money. I'd lose money on this. I've lost thousands just with equipment and expenses. I do it because I want to make the videos. I'm not trying to make money. But if I can make just enough over the years to pay myself back for all the expenses and just be out of the hole on this, I will be happy. Duggars are a mess. I know. It's so sad. Especially now with what's happened with Joseph's wife, Kendra. Now they're both in trouble. You had Tom Campano in Delaware. Oh, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Was he a missing person? Yeah, what is the Dateline special about? Is that about the the Nancy Guthrie case? Oh, it was a murder case in Delaware. Let me... Oh, and I think I mentioned this earlier. I think I did, but if you guys are just coming in, thank you to Hearts of Gold Prospecting. She is one of my mods. She is the first person that signed up to be a member since this just got monetized the night before last. So if you're watching this on the playback, hearts, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And I know that she's really tied up right now because she had a death in the family, and she's talked about it here. So let's just send some good vibes to Hearts of Gold. And in fact, Hearts of Gold, because you did that, if you're watching this on the playback, this is for you, Hearts. Yeah, it's on the Nancy Guthrie case. Okay. Yeah, I may have to watch it later. I'm going to, because I paid for my subscription to see baseball, so I'm going to watch that first. What time is it on? Is it on like 10? I may have time to see that then. Or is it coming on earlier? Zippity doodah. If I'm truly a private investigator, can you find my 20 million inheritance? It depends. That's a lot of money. I'd definitely be looking if I were you. And I am a true private investigator in the state of California. I've been in the PI field since February 24th, 1984, and I've been licensed in California since August 6th, 1992. And even though I'm mostly retired now because of my disabilities, my PI license is still active. That one will go to the grave with me. You can always shoot an email to me, zippity doo dah. And let me see what this says at the bottom. Oh, okay. I keep getting these little prompts. I don't know if you guys can see that, the target at the bottom. The little like bullseye symbol. Oh, 9 Eastern. Okay. Then we'll get it also at 9, even though it'll be 9 Pacific. When I was a kid, we lived on the Central Time Zone, and we would get our shows, even though we were an hour early, we would get our shows at the exact same time as the Eastern Time Zone, but just an hour earlier. But, being on the West Coast, if it comes on at 9 there, it comes on at 9 here, 3 hours later. Jamie James says, I can't find it. Oh, the Dateline special. Yeah, apparently that's on tonight. Thanks for the reminder. I'm going to watch the baseball first. I doubt we'll get the ring ceremony here, but today they get their World Series rings. Is there a way I can find out how my stepmother died if that family is not talking to me? Most likely if you know the date of her death and where she died. And it depends on how the death certificate was done as well. Depends on if there was an autopsy. It depends on if you're in a state or a county, or her death was in a state or a county where that is public information, or if it's private. Every state is different. It's on NBC. Thanks for posting that, JG George. And Dateline's usually pretty good, but still, it's unsolved. Take everything with a grain of salt, but yet I'm glad they're doing it because it'll bring more attention to the case. It is private. Well, you'd have to just send me an email what you know about it. The state is private. Let's see. Yeah, they're probably doing that on behalf of. Hopefully, they have Savannah Guthrie's blessings with that, since she actually works for NBC. It's so gut wrenching. Every time I see her with tears in her eyes, I get tears in my eyes. Like if I see somebody else crying, then I want to cry, and I'm not a big crier. Although tomorrow, my friend's birthday in heaven, I'll be crying me a river, and then she would be so mad. And you know what? I think Nancy Guthrie, based on how much I've learned about her, I feel like I knew that woman, and I didn't. I never met her before in my life. I've never even met Savannah, but it seems to me like she would be telling Savannah, and the other children and the grandchildren that they need to go back to their lives and they need to move on. And that is so sad, because how can you move on when you don't know what happened and you don't know where she is? Even if you never find out who's involved, at least bring her home. Tony, good evening. Question: did Savannah go back to, I guess you were going to say, did she go back to work? Apparently, it's going to happen on April the 6th, from what I've been told. Yeah, I didn't know that either. And I didn't know, Jamie says, I had no idea that was the home she grew up in. I didn't know either. They bought that home in 1975, and her and her husband. And Savannah said she was around 4. So that's where her memories start. Now, Savannah was actually born abroad in Melbourne, Australia, as her dad was, I guess, on a gig over there as a mining engineer. But she had lived in that house since around 74 or 75 when they bought the house. So Savannah must have been born in 71. Maybe Savannah's 54 years old. So if that's the case, she moved in there like 50 years ago. And she was there until she went off to college. And I know she still lived there too when she was 16, and she came home one night, and her mother, she'd gone out on a Friday night, and her mother and her sister were sitting on the sofa praying. And she said, what's wrong? And they said that her father had just passed. And I know he was on a mining job in Mexico. So I don't think the family was with him when he passed. And then, her mother didn't even have employment, and she moved in her mother, which would be Savannah's grandmother, and her other child, who would be Savannah's uncle, her mother's brother, who was a Down syndrome disabled person. So she actually lost her husband, then moved her own mother and her disabled brother into her house right after she lost her husband. And apparently Cameron was a young man, like he may have already had left or was getting ready to leave to go out into the world when this happened. Because, yeah, he must have already left, because Savannah was 16 and Annie's the next eldest and Cameron was the next eldest. So he must have just left. Maybe he was at college or was starting the military. I'm not sure. So he must have been away from home, and it was just the 2 daughters. And that's why when Savannah had to go off to school, because I think she went to her first school locally, but then she went somewhere else for law school, and then she got her first job away from home, and, she didn't want to leave her mom behind. She sounded like a hardworking mother. Yes, and I have so much respect for that. My mother did not work away from the home. She worked, in the home, which is fine. But my mother was also in a very, very bad situation, as we all were. And it often hurts my heart that she didn't make more of an effort to, have her own career and, get everybody out of that situation. But I guess she did the best she could. The family needed to be together to survive. Exactly, J.G. George. And that just makes me love that woman even more. Because everybody has something, everybody has tragedies, but it's how you handle it. And that's why tomorrow, even though this is going to hit me hard tomorrow, that my friend's birthday in heaven is tomorrow, she would be so upset. Like, stop talking about this, stop worrying about me. I want you to start living for you. And I'm on the other side and I'm fine. And, I'm probably going to see her sooner than I think, sadly, with my health. Like, I'm not ready to go yet. I want to be here and I want to be positive and happy. But I'm just saying tomorrow's going to be, on my end, it's going to be a hard day. We always spent our birthdays together since the day we met, and we didn't have enough time together as, as good friends. So I can't even imagine how Savannah is feeling, that it's her own mother, and she doesn't even know what happened. I mean, even when you know what happened, it's not going to make it easier, but I think it'll be easier for her to get back to her life, once there's some closure. But the longer this goes, for every minute, every hour, every day, every week that passes, the chances of there being closure of there being closure are getting slimmer and slimmer. And I'm still upset over the fact that, I had a tip that might be able to help, maybe, and the FBI just didn't, even listen to what I had to say. And I don't blame their special agents or their investigators, but their call center is just bad. Jamie James, I hope the kidnapper watches the interview and does the right thing. I would like to think that that could happen, especially if there's a group involved in this. Let's let the first person come forward and roll over on the others. I mean, they're still going to be guilty, but please do the right thing. Brian, before we judge our parents, we should walk a mile in their shoes. Exactly. Yeah, both my parents had some unhappy times when they were minors, and I know it greatly affected both of them. I have heard there may have been two, one near the back door. That's my thinking, is that there's definitely more than one, but I can't say for sure, but sure sounds like it. Celebrate them, they see everything. I think so. Well, at least when it first happened, but I don't feel that presence here very much anymore. No, I'm not a grandma. That's with anyone, not just your parents. Exactly, Kellyanne. Yeah, they both had some fairly rough things in their childhood that affected them their entire lives. So you have to look at them as when you get older, you have to look at your parents as people and not just your mom and your dad. No, mom didn't. Nobody cheated in our house. Nobody's a cheater. But she had it very hard. And there was also a lot of trauma in that family too, because in my family, before I was born, like decades before I was born, somebody was actually kidnapped for ransom. Like, this was like my own family went through this, but I wasn't born yet. My sister wasn't born yet. My parents didn't even know each other. They were both little kids at the time. But yeah, so they both dealt with some traumas, and it adversely affected both of them, which affected their children. And some of us survive it and some of us don't, But Savannah's mom, like, rock star. Absolute rock star. Your father was what? It got cut off, JG. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to celebrate my friend tomorrow. But she's with me every day in spirit. It's just hard, though, because our birthdays are 15 days apart. Mine is April 12th and hers is March 28th. And ever since we knew each other, we celebrated birthdays together. And she didn't make a big deal out of her birthday, as I don't make a big deal out about mine. For me, it's just a regular day because I live alone and I got pets and I'm just happy to be alive. I'm like, oh, I made it another year. Oh, your father was a cheater. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, Savannah's family seemed like they were really nice people. And then the dad died, I think he was 49, and Nancy Guthrie was 46, and Savannah was 16. And I think that's why she's so attached to that house, even at 84, and she didn't want to, like, give that up and that independence up. And I can understand that. Have I ever been with I don't even have a brother. We're going to take you out. I don't know if I didn't understand that comment or that comment was way inappropriate. You see all kinds in here. Welcome to monetization. Well, you know what? I'm going to go get a bite to eat and get ready for my game. And I still have to do some things today. But I thank you for coming. Everybody give me a thumbs up. I hope you're subscribed. Hit that bell icon. Hit all if you can. And if you're doing any replaying or rewatching the actual long form content videos, make sure you're letting those ads completely roll. Thank you. Jamie says, no kidding. Jane Rice, night. Kellyanne, have a good night. Take care of yourself. I'm truly sorry about your friend. Yeah, it's rough. Hopefully, my little kitty, who's named after her, doesn't have a tummy ache. Let's just pray for her since she's with the living. Jamie James says, "Okay, April, enjoy your evening." JG George says, "Yeah, that was creepy." Yeah, that was creepy. Did I think I did read that right, didn't I, JG? I was like, what? Oh, you're still here, Brenda. I didn't know you were still here. Thanks for still being here, Brenda. Love you, cuz. Oh, and thanks for the super chat. Anybody that sent the super chats? Thank you. JG, welcome to my channel. I think it was your first time here. I appreciate you. You guys binge watch the videos. Let's see. It takes another month after the first month to get paid. Assuming I make the minimum. I probably won't make the minimum the first month, but let's see. He could have been a foreigner. I don't know. I was thinking that too. Like, am I reading it wrong? Because someone from Syria came in, like within the last couple of days, and he was calling me auntie, and I was like, "Who is this? Like, is this my nephew? Is this one of my nieces?" Like, yeah. Happy birthday to Kelsa in heaven. Mine's on April 12th. Hers is tomorrow. Maybe he meant to say, "Do you have a brother?" I was wondering, but I was like, oh my God. But the guy from Syria kept calling me auntie. And then he said that he speaks Arabic and he was using like a translator and that he was typing in Arabic and it would translate it to like something about I was his auntie. And I was like, huh? Who is this? I've never seen you before. Like, those aren't my nieces and my nephew. Like, who is that? Well, he's not coming back for 24 hours, Jamie, because he's on time out. I kind of hesitated to ask him, what did you mean to say? But please, you guys watch the replays. And there's somebody here that's been watching the replays, but she only knows how to rewatch the lives. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, YouTube's not showing those other videos. And I keep telling her, like, you have to go to the main channel page. And I'm not criticizing you. You go to the channel and hit video. You know, you will see all the long form content. And if you don't want to watch all those, you can go to playlist and you can see the different categories because there's something here for everyone. But if you're just here for the true crime, then go to my true crime playlist. But whatever you do, watch those mid-roll ads that are called skippable and don't skip them. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Love you, Brenda, if you're still here. Love you all. Have a good night.